I'm Nick. I started Nick's TV Repair about a decade ago, and since then have fixed over 26,000 devices. Today I'm going to show you how to fix this Vizio power supply. The customer that sent it in stated they were just watching TV when all of a sudden the TV shut itself off and it wouldn't come back on. All right, let's start at diagnostics. My first step is to use the multimeter in continuity mode, so we'll get a beep when we get a short, and I'm gonna start by checking the fuse, which I am getting a short. So actually I'm not expecting a short, however, the customer did state they already have replaced the fuse, so this is their replacement fuse. I do assume the original one in there was blown. Looking around the board, I'm actually quickly realizing there is a component right here that looks very charred. It's burnt. Let's go ahead and zoom in on it, and that is a capacitor. Now, a good capacitor looks like this, or like the one right next to it. This one is completely burnt to a crisp and obviously going to be defective and require a replacement. Now, usually when something like this happens, it's because a transistor has failed shorted. So let's check that to see if we get a short. And sure enough, I get a beep. My multimeter is reading about 4 ohms. Let's check the other leg, and I'm also getting a short. So this transistor over here is shorted and will need to be replaced in addition to that capacitor. Now there is a 2-legged diode over here. Let's check it, and we do have a short. So I'm not getting the continuity beep because the short is above 50 ohms. I'm reading 60 ohms right now, but I have a feeling this diode is okay. Once we remove the transistor out of circuit, I have a feeling the diode would no longer be reading that 60 ohm short. All right, there are 2 other sets of transistors I like to check, which are over here. Let's see if we have a short. No short, no short, no short, and no short. The capacitors are also looking okay, not seeing any burn marks. And finally, there is actually one more over here. No short, and I'm not getting a beep, but same thing. I'm getting about 60 ohms. So let's check again, and 64 ohms. So I have a feeling this transistor is shorted, but we're just not getting that beep because the short is above 50 ohms. My first step is to get rid of the shorts. So let's go ahead and remove both of these transistors and then see what we get. I'm gonna use my drill to remove the screws. And I just wanna make sure the transistors are loose. They are. Okay, let's flip the board over. And let's begin our desoldering. So on this one, I'm gonna start by just melting the solder without adding fresh solder. Typically, I like to add new solder first. Usually it allows for better flow. So my bottom 2 legs are loose, but my top one is not. Let's just try and push that transistor through. There we go. All right, let's see. Do we have a short out of circuit? And we do. On all legs. So this transistor reads K31A60W. All right, and let's see. Do we still have a short in circuit? No more short, and no more short. Okay, our short is gone. Let's do the same thing. Let's recheck our diode, and we still have 61 ohms, which I have a feeling is gonna be related to that transistor over here. So let's go ahead and remove this one next. We're gonna try the same process of not adding any new solder, but just flowing the original. That didn't feel very successful. Let's try one more time. Okay, it looks like my legs are loose. Can I push it through? Here we are. Let's do that same check. Do we have a short? No short, and no short. Let's check the outer pins to one another. No short. Okay, so this transistor actually is possibly okay. Let's check the board. No short. No short. I'm not seeing a short either on the board or the transistor itself. Here's what I'm thinking, because neither this transistor nor the board is shorted anymore. However, we were getting a short from the diode, and we're no longer reading that short from the diode because we've removed this transistor over here, which was also shorted. By removing the transistor over here, we remove the path the short took to make this transistor over here seem shorted. So I'm gonna go ahead and reinstall this transistor back in circuit, and then we're gonna remove that diode next. Now I am noticing the thermal paste looks a little bit dried up, so we're gonna go ahead and remove the original thermal paste. We're gonna add some fresh new thermal paste and a little more than there was originally, just to be safe. Insert the transistor back in. Final recheck. Do we still have our 62 ohm short? We do not. But of course, our diode still does. All right, same thing. We'll go ahead and remove the screw, and we'll go ahead and desolder our diode. And let's do our check. Do we have a shorted diode? Oh, we do not. Oh my gosh. It's the capacitor that's most likely causing this short. So we're still reading 57.5 ohms. So let's remove the burnt capacitor next, and let's make sure that that short goes away, which makes sense because it is in parallel with the diode we just removed. All right, let's do one more check here, and sure enough, our shorts are finally gone. So the diode's thermal paste actually looks to be in better condition than that transistor, but we're gonna go ahead and refresh it anyways. And I'm also gonna take the opportunity to clean up the transistor's thermal paste as well. Now, C9801 is burnt to the point where we cannot identify it anymore. I did cheat by using a donor board to identify. It is a 101K 1 kV, but we're gonna use the 101K 2 kV as a replacement. So this one does not have polarity. Doesn't matter what side we put it in. We'll go ahead and bend the pins. We'll just need to bend the pins so they match with the holes. Okay, and I think that's pretty good. We can now add our thermal paste. Okay, now I should be able to lock it in. We're going to give it a quick cleanup, remove some of the flux. And this time around, we're going to go into our normal resistance mode, and let's check how is our diode doing. All right, now we're showing 45 kilo ohms, and if I swap my leads, we're getting 0.8 mega ohms. So because this is a diode, technically we should be in diode mode, and we're getting 0.391 volts and OL the other way, which is normal. That's what we're expecting for a diode. Let's go back to resistance. Let's check our transistor, and we're getting 31 kilo ohms. Let's check the other side. 179 kilo ohms. Now, if you recall, we were getting shorts on all three of those legs. Okay, and let's see over here. We're now getting 240 kilo ohms, 240 kilo ohms over here as well. So it does look like we have gotten rid of all the shorts on our power supply. Let's go ahead and power it up and see what we get. All right, here we go. Hopefully nothing pops. And nothing has popped. That's good news. So I'm going to be in my DC mode here, and my first check is going to be on our filter capacitors. Now, the power supply is not technically turned on, so I should be expecting around 165 to 170 volts, and we're getting 167. So I've just installed a on-off switch over here, which is essentially just two batteries in series to get 3 volts. And what I did was I soldered one side to ground and the other to our PS online on our connector over here. So we'll go ahead and plug the power supply back in. Again, in DC mode, we should still be getting our 165, 167, and we are. And if I turn this on, we should now be getting 390, 396. And we are. So at this moment, the full power supply is turned on. I should now be able to get our 19 volt lines to turn on. And I know my 19 volts run through these two capacitors, so I'm gonna do a measurement on these. And sure enough, we're getting 19.19 volts. So that does confirm our power supply is fully activated. It is on and working. Okay, this does conclude our repair, so we can now send the power supply fully fixed back to our customer. And we do offer 1-year warranties for these. If you're interested in sending in your board for us to fix, we have flat rate services. Those are available on our website, which I'll link in the description below. If you found the video helpful or useful, leave us a like, subscribe for more. Thank you for watching.